and the police rounded up 23 of the top Latin kings. Hitler was the #1 guy they were after. He had 6 charges of murder against him. And his brother, his street name is Pistol Pete, he goes to our church too. He's a drug dealer. And I walked up to him, I said, Pete, you go tell Hitler I'm coming to see him in jail on Thursday. And he says, okay, I'll get word to him. I said, I want to talk to him, I want to see him. So I go to the jail, and I walk in, and he comes in. Now, Mike Pilavachi said cufflinks the other day. I want to correct and make sure that it's handcuffs. Cufflinks are here, handcuffs are there. I love that man. So he comes in with his handcuffs and he sits down. And I looked at him and I said, I want to talk to you. He goes, well, I want to talk to you. He goes, what did you do to me that day I came to your church? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, did you hex me or something? I said, no. He goes, as soon as I sat down in that chair, I was frozen and I couldn't move throughout the whole service. He said, my nose was itching the whole time and I couldn't scratch it. He goes, what did you do to me? And I said, I didn't do anything to you, Hitler. I said, see, Hitler, here's the deal. I said, Jesus has this plan for your life. And I said, you've bought into the wrong plan. You've made this life for yourself, and it's all jacked up and broken and busted up, and it's landed you here in this prison. You thought you were going somewhere, and it's landed you nowhere. I said, but Jesus has this beautiful life he's made for you, the one you were always supposed to live. And he's offering it to you right now. And he's saying, here, let's make a trade. I'll give you the one you were born for. Give me the one that you jacked up. And he goes, that deal's not for me. He goes, that deal's for people like you and Mother Teresa and Billy Graham. He's like, that deal's not for me. And I said, Hitler, it is. And he goes, no, it's not. He goes, Robbie, they think they know what I've done? He goes, they don't know how far I've gone. He goes, they don't know. I said, Hitler, I know what you're thinking. I said, you're thinking that this stuff isn't for you. No, I get it. I said, but Hitler, can I tell you something? I said, this part of the Bible is called the New Testament. We call this the Holy Word of God. I said, Hitler, half of this portion of the Bible was written by a murderer. That God chose to write what we call the Holy Scripture. And I said, Hitler, the deal is still on the table for you. Jesus is still offering the deal. I said, would you like to accept it? Would you like to take it? And he dropped his head and he began to cry. And he said, Robbie, I'll take the deal. And right there we prayed, and I saw this man weep in front of me. His brother told me later, he says, I've never seen my brother cry. He's even when he was 6 years old, and my stepdad would beat him till he was nearly dead. I never saw him shed one tear, and he was 6. And he wept, and we prayed, and I led him into prayer, and he accepted Jesus. And guys, it was amazing. When he lifted his head, this huge smile came across his face. And he looks at me, and he goes, Robbie, it's gone. He said, it's all gone. And I said, what's gone? He said, the guilt, the shame, the hatred, all the anger. It just snapped off my back like it was like a big rock strapped to my back. He said, it's just gone. Jesus took it all away. And I looked at him and I said, Hitler, I said, that's what the life that Jesus is offering to you. And he got up from that table and he had to go back to his cell. Guys, I went back every week and I had to buy him a children's picture Bible because he could barely read. And as he was sitting there looking through the Children's Picture Bible one day, and I was teaching about forgiveness, teaching about following Jesus, no matter what, one day he looked at me, and he was holding that Children's Picture Bible with those silly little cartoons. And he looks up and he goes, Robbie. I said, yeah, Hitler. He said, I got to get my story out. I said, what do you mean? He said, Robbie, people don't know how far Jesus can go for them. He goes, Robbie, people don't know. He goes, they don't know that you can kill people. They don't know that you can do horrible crimes. They don't know how far Jesus will go for them. He goes, they don't know that you can threaten to kill a man. And Jesus will fill his heart for love for you, and he'll come and tell you the best story you've ever heard in your entire life. And he goes, Robbie, people don't know that. And I said, oh, dude, I want you to slow down. I said, my concern for you is that could either get you popped by the kings or that could get you the needle. And I said, dude, I don't want you to die. You know what he said to me? He looked at me and he goes, you told me they all died for this. He said, you told me this was worth dying for. And he goes, and now you're telling me I should try to save my own life? You told me if I tried to save it, that I would lose it. But if I spent it for the sake of the kingdom, I would have the best life. He said, Robbie, in this stinking, rotten prison is the best life I've lived. And he goes, only Jesus could do that. And he goes, if they'd take me out today, it would be worth it all. Oh, my friends, that we would know the value of that. You see, the boat that Jesus, when he looked at Peter, said, will you lend me your boat? The boat represented Peter's life. Jesus was saying, I just want to put my presence on your boat. I just want to put my presence on your boat. Guys, will you lend him your boat? Will you lend him your boat even though it's scary? Will you lend him your boat even though it may cost you everything? Would you just lend him your boat? Now for some of you, maybe you've been cautious. Maybe you've been holding back a little bit and you're just like, I just want to go all in for Jesus. I just want to give him everything. I want to be able to say that. I want to go in with everything I have for Jesus. And maybe you're a Christian, maybe you're not. We had people come give their lives to Jesus here. Maybe that's a part of what you do, but I just sense there are people in here that God is going to call to go to foreign countries. God's going to call you to go to other nations, closed nations that haven't heard the gospel. But you're just willing to say, because you say so, we will. No matter what, even when it doesn't make sense, just simply because you say so, I will. If that's you, would you just